Welcome back, everybody, to Game 2 between Vitality and the Mysterious Monkeys. And Vitality are just one away from taking their first series of the split. And if you missed it, don't worry, there was nothing too mysterious about that game, and you should probably go back and check the VOD, especially if you're an old fan of Dignitas.
Nice little North American burn. Not even here, Pirates. Your own country.
Sometimes I gotta send it back across the Atlantic.
I know.
I know they're doing the same.
They're definitely doing the same. I saw some of that this week, obviously, or last week in the LCS. Happens in Europe as well. Vitality, Mysterious Monkeys, obviously 2 teams fighting to get the first series win. And last game, it was a bit strange because it was actually pretty even, and I felt like Mysterious Monkeys made some pretty good active plays. We saw the engages work out with Ashe, we saw Llama Bear in the early game on Lee Sin, and yet Vitality managed to win the game with like a massive goal lead due to 1 play around Baron.
Yeah, and it just was unfortunate to see that the Monkeys controlling reasonably well, you know, it just all go out the window by the end of it. We'll see what they can do in this game. Their draft phase, or their draft from game 1, honestly looked solid for what they wanted to do, and they had set themselves up some winning lanes, so especially they're going to be back on red side once again. They might not need to change up too much in that regard. No,
I think they can try and do exactly the same, and then it's all about just removing, you know, mistakes in game. It's always hard to base, you know, the result of a game like this purely on draft when you actually lose the entire game basically at that Baron. So I think overall they can definitely try and do the same. Nukeduck is a man though we want to look more at in this game because he was really good in the last one. Success on LeBlanc.
Well, we will see if he gets his hands on something like that once again.
I still want to see Vitality Pyro here. I want to see Vitality not ban the Elise. First pick in a step, but they're probably just going to ban exactly the same. They're going to ban Elise now. They're going to ban Twitch and say we don't need to change anything because we already managed to beat Mysterious Monkeys. And nothing that Vitality picked in the first phase are actually ban-worthy either. Because it was Caitlyn, Braum, and Kha'Zix. Like, you can give them all 3 picks. Thresh is a higher tier champion than those guys, so you should just ban Thresh again if you are Mysterious Monkeys.
Yeah, Twitch banned out one more time. Still taking that into consideration up against Yuki, following by the Thresh. Yeah, it's the same stuff that we've seen before. So now, once again, insta-lock that Kha'Zix.
And then we might just get the Ashe and, once again, their Lee Sin for Llama Bear.
Those both worked out well.
Yeah, exactly. I think you should just go for it once again. No reason to change it if it actually worked for you and it wasn't the reason you lost the game. And I think both teams seem happy with the first phase of last game in terms of drafting. Braum and Caitlyn were the 2 answers for Vitality. Funny enough, here they are again. Now, only thing for Mysterious Monkeys is they didn't actually win the bot lane that hard with their Lulu Ashe combo, so they might say, you know what, that's not what we're looking for again, but it's still a safe choice.
Well, there's a lot of attention being paid last game by Llama Bear up to the top, and he spent some time mid too.
I like this.
This might be the adaptation. It's going to be the Zyra instead of Lulu.
I think that's a good adaptation because Zyra is a stronger laner right now. Not really open to these all-ins as we see before. Fiora ban, just like last time, it was then a blind pick Kled for Jisoo top lane. Obviously, Renekton was the answer by Cabochard. So far, same bans in the second phase once again.
Kennen following that Fiora up in the top. The question is, will we see the same matchup in that top lane as last time with LeBlanc now banned away? There's an adaptation from Mysterious Monkeys, so Nukeduck will at least be going on a different champion.
Yeah, and if you are Cosq, you don't actually want to blind pick Syndra here because Nukeduck plays a pretty good Fizz. You don't want to risk that counter matchup for Nukeduck, so it might just be the Kled pick again. Even though I kind of want to see Jarvan from Jisoo, because I just think it adds even more skirmishing power in the mid game, where Vitality obviously not really look that good and you can actually punish them. But I could also understand the blind pick Kled once again, but honestly, give me some Jarvan.
We'll see. They still got some time on the clock to see if Jisoo is going to pick up J4. I've seen it a bit out of him, and against a composition like this, if they can find and squish on, they could be able to take out that Caitlyn or the Kha'Zix early, but no, it is going to be the Kled one more time, which means we'll probably see that Croc.
For Cabochard again, obviously the fact that he died early on was mainly due to jungle interactions.
Oh, the Shen's been left open now.
So Shen was banned last time. They obviously replaced that Shen with the LeBlanc here. Vitality, they have played a lot with tanks top lane, Shen obviously being one of them. And it comes back in. It is a fine pick against the Kled. Now, I think still a pick like Syndra here is perfectly fine. And I think it's a good choice for Nukeduck.
All right, back over to Mysterious Monkeys. Kozq will get his counter pick.
Fizz, Echo, traditional counter picks for Syndra. Not a guaranteed win by any means, but traditional picks. Katarina is the other one for Kozq.
You always got to talk about it.
You have to. So I was late last time to bring it up, even though I was about to say it because Medic was just kind of blah, 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 blah. And then he actually locked it in, and then no one believed me. When I was like, oh.
Well, I'm sorry. But this time, something completely different. Kozq decides to pick up the Stoneweaver. It's Talia locked in.
I don't know, Kozq. I think Talia in itself is very good, but it's a tough matchup for you to play against Nukeduck in this mid lane, and Kozq, as a player, has not looked very good if he falls behind early. But obviously, he's playing for the team right now. You can try and snowball top, where you have your Kled, who will outscale the Shen as a split pusher, and you have a very strong bot lane pirate. I really like the bot lane matchup for Mysterious Monkeys. I think it's smart drafting from Unlimited. If Kozq can survive his laning phase and actually go and help these two sides, then I can see a lot of value in the Talia pick.
Well, it's always a gamble, but Kozq is not one to shy away from that proposition as the coaches will shake hands to walk off the stage for what could be the final time. Yamato Cannon, his team was able to come up with that victory, a fast turnaround, but can the Monkeys pull a turnaround of their own? We'll find out if they're able to do it here. Solid laning phase for them ahead, at least it looked that way last time around. Is the 2v2 going to be enough? Is that top lane going to be helped out by Llama Bear? Is Kozq going to survive lane? All those answers and more are coming right up, but we want to hear from you guys if you believe in the power of the Mysterious Monkeys. Hop on Twitter once again, hashtag MMWin over at LOL Esports, or will Vitality grab themselves 2-0 in their first victory here in the EULCS stage in summer? Hashtag VIT win. We're about to find out, so let's head into game already.
Man, if you can actually win this series, it just sets you up so well for the next few weeks, because then we're going to get the cross-group play where suddenly you're going to play against teams like NIP and Rocket, also struggling teams. And if you can just beat all the guys down in the bottom, well, then you make sure you do not go to the promotion tournament, which of course is a goal number one. And then the second goal could then be maybe try and make playoffs. But you never want to lose to the teams just around you in the standings, Pyre, because these are the guys fighting to avoid promotion tournament.
Mm-hmm. You'll get another chance to play them later on in the split when things go right back to the regular groups, but...
Especially also because Challenger Series, like with a lot of the investments happening, it's once again like PSG and Schalke.
It's pretty stacked.
Like, it is pretty tricky. I think the teams last split look really good in Challenger. I think there are some teams to really look for this split as well. But it's hard to always predict if there is as much punch as you see, you know, when you get a team like Mysterious Monkeys making it, and Fnatic Academy obviously made it in as well, then sold the spot to NIP.
Well, it's funny you mention the likes of a team like Schalke, because that's actually the last time Kozq played the Talia on stage, and that was one of the losses. So maybe he's picked up a few more tricks since then.
We have to see that. Again, it is quite unusual that we get a lot of new teams always coming in. We tend to get like one new team every split appearing, and those teams tend to be pretty good. But obviously, last split where we had Rocket, Giants, Vitality, and Origin fighting for the bottom spots, it was very clear that the bottom part of Europe, where it was in the end Giants and Origin, it was pretty weak, which is why obviously they dropped out. And we had a team like Mysterious Monkeys making it into the LCS. Cabochard getting a good early advantage here by hiding in that brush, and you get the early trade with the passive. Always a very, very good start on the Q, I mean.
Coming up pretty well for him to start things off. And Cabochard, even though historically he's liked to play as carry-oriented as possible, Shen can still duke it out with the best of them trading up against Jisoo. We'll see if Joko is going to be making return visits up there as well as game gets underway. Already losing that Skarl, but Jisoo's got a pocket pistol.
And Jisoo last game didn't care if he lost Skarl or not. He just went forward anyway.
He didn't care if he died, man. That guy's a madman.
Yeah, he just took the fights anyway. But the reason Shen works well against some of these physical carries up top lane is just it's very easy for Shen with his W to obviously counter a lot of the auto attacks. But he's a level down now, which is why he can't do it. But Shen W is fantastic against these auto attack based champions. And obviously going early like Ninja Tappy into like an armor item. Like, it's very easy for Shen to just get enough resistances plus his W to say you're never going to kill me 1v1. And I'm just going to play with my team, mid lane, bot lane, and that's how we're going to snowball the game while you're busy up top lane trying to farm to your 2 items.
So that lane is just pretty much going to be locked down. Where do the Monkeys look to build advantages right now? CosQ has roam potential on this Taliyah if he survives that lane.
Exactly. Like, I think bot lane is definitely an opening for Mysterious Monkeys to try to play around the first tower with the Zyra Ashe lane. Top lane as well, even against Shen. Like, if you bring more people to the party, you can obviously kill the Shen. Especially if you start bringing magic damage as well, if he's stacking armor. So I think CosQ can go to both side lanes, and they are both very, very viable options if it comes to snowballing. Especially because often against Shen, as we always talk about, you want to attack the global itself. Because if you go bot lane, well, Shen is going to follow. If you go top lane, you can't ulti yourself if you're Shen.
Well, CosQ getting some vision cleared out here. I was going to say if he headed down to the bottom lane, Cabochard would have a harder time following right now. He did have teleport, but only level 3 on the Shen as we're underway. No big advantages being broken open just yet. It took a little while before First Blood started to come in the last game as well, despite the fact that it ended up being a sub-30-minute affair. Slamabear goes on a roving through the enemy jungle. This time he will not find Joko.
Well, he will know that Joko is not on top side and the camps are dead, so he can kind of tell his team he's not top lane, which means there's only one other place he could be, which is bot lane.
And appropriately, Yuki and Dreams are backing off.
Exactly. They're like, oh, okay, there's a chance. Also, they got good early wards. Mysterious Monkeys on the bottom side. Taliyah mid lane Pyre, early on. Fantastic push. Love it. Spam Q and that stuff. Get the minions pushed in, but you don't really trade that effectively against the Syndra. You got to be very careful. And once a few levels get under the belt of Nukedog, he will start taking over in terms of trading, especially level 6, because one champion gets an ulti that is build a wall and fly down to another lane. Doesn't really help you in a 1v1. The other champion gets an ulti that we like to call, one of these ultis where you really got to master the champions to really use the ulti.
You mean press R?
You need to press the R button on them. Obviously with a few balls down first, preferably.
Well,
so yeah.
Nukedog already proved last game that he was able to press all of his buttons and do a lot.
Which
so
is
I
very
feel like
impressive.
this is going to be kind of right up his alley.
Yeah, it's going to be easier for Nukedog to obviously fire his ulti here, and it's going to give him an advantage in the 1v1 against Taliyah. Last game, I think he played it extremely well, getting early kills, and I just want to see that more and more from Nukedog, because when he's playing well, he's actually a fun player to watch.
Something that Vitality has needed, a breath of life in them, since it seemed up into this game so far, up into the series, that it was really all on Joko to try and get things going in any portion of the game. Vitality were kind of laying back and losing these games against some of the stronger teams in their group, but against the Monkeys, despite some mistakes, we can see the explosive potential that some of these players still have.
And also we have to remember Yamato Cannon when he joined Splice all the way back last year in spring. The first split wasn't great, they didn't really manage to do a whole lot. They didn't make playoffs, played in promotion tournament. However, that's standard when you get a new coach who really wants to try and change the way a team is playing.
It's also a new team, too. I mean, those were a lot of untested rookies.
Of course.
I know they're all Danish, Deficio. I know they're good at League of Legends.
Back then, all Danish, and then they replaced one of the Danes, Nisbet, and got Mickey instead, which obviously proved to be a very good change. But the point is, like, it takes time to kind of build up a lot of the basics in terms of how to play the overall macro game as a team, and I think Yamato Cannon is asking for time as well. He's not expecting Summer Split to be the split for Vitality.
Well, the Monkeys are looking to speed things up right now. They sent Yuki and Dreams up towards the top side. Cabochard does not see them, but now he will. However, Llamaberry is waiting in the wings. Is this going to be the 5-man top dive, I should say? It looks like it.
They can dive the tower, Pyra.
Yeah, tower can't go anywhere.
Shen is gone. He's out of there.
All right.
Classic lane swap against Shen. Shen hits level 6. Enemy team is like, okay, now they can maybe play around bottom side with Shen, so let's just go top lane into his lane, attacking the global itself and trying to rush down tower. And Vitality are really far behind in tempo here.
Yeah, this is a nice start. They might just get the tower, but Vander hops on in, and he's going to be bringing Cabochard all the way back. So now Mysterious Monkeys are trying to scatter. Cabochard comes in with the taunt, but the charge was already on, and they've been able to clear away. Even CosQ joining up here. It is a party up in top.
I actually think it's pretty good for Cabochard that he got interrupted there doing his taunt, because Taliyah would be here first, meaning Mysterious Monkeys were ready to take the fight, worst case. Llamabear is sitting on a control ward. This is a very unexpected play. They do not think he's still up here. I think he just showed himself.
Still 4 members.
Yeah, he just peeked his head out.
All right, well, they keep committing to it. That tower only needs a few more shots to go down, but Joko is about to walk right over a ward himself. Llamabear sending the Sonic Wave out. Does not follow through just yet. It's 4v3 up top. It's not something you expect to say every game of League of Legends.
Now, Jisoo is still up here. Bot lane, obviously, Cabochard is already down there. He still sits with TP in case he needs to go top lane once again. And Jisoo is currently losing out on experience because Cabochard is getting solo experience bot lane and Jisoo had to share top lane with multiple members.
But Dreams and Yuki, they have a very pushing lane. They have a lot of harassment. Can they march the mini wave in and finish off first Power Blood? It is oh so close in that top lane.
Seems to be the team call by them spam pinging on the tower. Being like, guys.
That's free gold right there.
Come on, this is low. Llama Bear, he's back again.
It's like he never left. Waiting out, finding Vander. Llama Bear, he wanted to go in, gets the kick after he flashes away, but that's going to force the heal out of Steel back. So they get an ultimate and a summoner just for the heal.
Ooh, I really want to see Zyra
and a flash.
I want to see Zyra always save the root. When Lee Sin is going in to his little kick flash move, save the root till after you already kicked the guy, because then his flash is gone. Right now, Dreams used the root at the same time as Llama Bear jumped in, which meant the flash away from Vander actually managed to negate 2 effects at the same time. If you save one of them, you can then use that after, and you might be able to lock down Vander and actually get the first blood. Instead, though, it means that this tower is still alive. Vitality trying to get some pressure mid for Nuke there, because Koskyu with his ulti can go top lane and secure the tower if he wants to.
Yeah, pressure's all been topside for Mysterious Monkeys, but they just keep on trying. Llama Bear has hardly left that top lane alone. However, for Vitality, it has really just been Nuke trying to push it out in the mid, and Koskyu able to roam around, pretty much ignoring Cabochard for the time being. Even Jisoo left the lane for a bit.
Exactly, and Jisoo before there, where he stayed top lane and Cabochard went bot, it actually means that Cabochard is almost a level above him in terms of experience. Cabochard just hit level 8 now, and Jisoo is not even halfway there. So obviously setting him a bit behind in this lane where it takes time for Kled to kind of become a strong split pusher against Shen, and now you start seeing some of that damage. If Nuke ulti's right there, Koskyu's out of lane straight away.
Yeah, he's got heal, but depends on if he can press that button fast enough. Now, you can see that Jisoo has also let himself be pushed back. Kind of have no choice when you're down that level on the Shen, but he's playing back. He's not playing over-aggressive. This is the change we've seen from him because the game plan just seems to have been so different.
Very true. It's hard now for Jisoo to really be a big carry. Big advantage for Vitality. Shen ulti's ready again. And sitting these 2v2 lanes, this also means if Mysterious Monkeys to try and push for that top lane tower, they will overextend against the Shen composition. So it is tricky right now for the Mysterious Monkeys to kind of find the easy opening where they don't risk Vitality fighting back. And
kicking it tricky. Cabochard looked to go in. Dark Sphere landed on top of Koskyu, but he's not able to go over the wall, and he wasn't spotted, as you said. Back down to bot lane.
Yeah, and you can see how Nuke Dog is kind of taking over mid lane now. As we talked about, once he got to some levels, winning the trades. Koskyu needs to find a way to get out of this lane to his sides, but he can't go top because of Shen ulti. He can't go bot lane because Jisoo is not that strong, and Cabo sits with taunt and flash to get over the wall. So it is actually extremely hard for Koskyu right now to find an opening.
And Llama Bear has been matched by Joko this game. Instead of the early game action that netted him a couple of assists, got his lanes ahead, Llama Bear just hasn't been as effective.
Yeah, I noticed this between the games. Yamato Cannon was sitting with Joko and just talking one-on-one. Because Joko was so aggressive in the first game, it cost him actually a lot in the early game where he just gave away kills he shouldn't give away. Disrespected where the enemy jungle would be on the map. This game, Joko has been, a lot safer, a lot slower in the way he's playing, but also because of the lane swap, he obviously has to just defend. But it's actually been a good thing. Joko not been looking for the big aggressive invades for no reason.
And that's part of the job of the coach, right? Like we oftentimes will see the coaches on stage talking about the effect they're having on the pick and ban phase and monitoring the games as they're in progress. But being able to get your players onto the right mental headspace is a very important aspect. That's something Yamato Cannon definitely has some experience in. Koskyu getting jumped on here. Threaded volley comes out, but the Braum knockup is there. Vander looking to go aggressive as Joko brings in Cabochard, but he's a little low on the health bar himself. Able to just eke away from the Stranglethorns, and Joko's got to flash that wall. He almost got pinned.
Oh, Vitality there not actually respecting the fact that Dreams and Koskyu were in a very good position to still get out of this fight. And once the call was made by Vitality, it seemed like they just said, nope, we are not stopping here. Ooh. We are going all in, and that meant Shen ulti, Joko moving forward despite being low. Like, they could have just said, you know what, guys? We're not going to get anything here. Step away, save the Shen ulti, but they just went all in, and it actually backfired for them. Flash and Shen ulti gone. Koskyu did use his heal, I believe, after the fight, seemed like. I don't think he actually used it in the fight, but it is the only thing they managed to get.
Yeah, well, Banshee's Veil's already back off the cooldown in just a few more seconds, and those changes, it makes it easier for him to get out of harm's way for sure. Still holding on to his flash, so if they try to go back in, might just end similarly.
Remember, no Shen ulti now. This actually means Mysterious Monkeys might be able to get that top lane tower. Yes, there's TP and Shen, but still, that's a long channel without a shield being added in, and Jisoo can
join.
follow. Exactly, he can always follow.
Yeah, but it has been a little bit of a slower game, right? Vitality were able to stop the tower from going down up top. They build themselves up a small gold lead, but that could all vanish if the tower top does eventually go down. And Mysterious Monkeys, they've kind of decided to pull back a little bit and defend against some of this aggro.
Oh, Jisoo mid lane.
As I say it, they change it on up. Jisoo going to charging, but just into the tower.
He found the tower. So what Mysterious Monkeys have done now, if we just pan the camera up a little bit, they put a control ward here in the brush that Coscu just walked into. Oh, actually, let's talk about it after.
Yeah, Joko, he wants to go in, threaded volley back onto his face, and Coscu keeps on moving, unperturbed, following Llama Bear. They want to go diving.
Yeah, what's been happening right now is Coscu goes in, he looks for the play top, he just wants to get tower. That's all he wants to get.
All right, that wall gets stopped just short, but they will get the tower, and they're on top of Vander, looking for first blood, and they are going to get it. Just shy of 14 minutes in, and Cabo even starts his TP only to cancel it out.
I guess if the enemy support wants to give you a kill as well, then you take that kill for free. A sloppy play by Vander, trying to defend without really being able to do it. But I really like that setup, because Mysterious Monkeys, by putting that control ward near the mid lane, whenever Coscu went out of vision in that ward, Nukdog had to call. He's missing, he could go top lane, I had to try and follow him. This is just the play. I don't even know what Vander's trying to do here.
He might have wanted to let that wall finish. Then he would have been on the other side of it.
Yeah, he obviously tries to stop him from killing tower, but it was never really going to happen.
So, first tower falls in favor of the Mysterious Monkeys. They find themselves in a gold lead, courtesy of that and the first blood onto Vander. And it went to Llama Bear as well, who's still got a lot of relevancy in this game.
And it all started, Pyra, because Vitality tried to force a play mid, where even after Mysterious Monkeys had disengaged, the Shen ulti came in on Joko, which meant as soon as Shen ulti was on cooldown, you could just see Coscu and the rest of Mysterious Monkeys say, top lane, this is the opening we need. Llama Bear went up there, Coscu had his control ward down, he kept hovering towards top side to maybe force like an ulti. Nukdog had to constantly try and follow him a little bit, lose pressure mid, and that all snowballed into now Mysterious Monkeys getting first tower and even first blood. Small things like wasting an ulti sets stuff like this up.
Now Cabochard's under fire once again. He has to taunt his way out. This frees up the bottom tower for Mysterious Monkeys to try and take a bite out of, and they're pretty close to being able to finish it off. Honestly, it's reminiscent of one of the few slow games we've seen out of the Mysterious Monkeys up against the Unicorns of Love. When things weren't going very quickly, they seem to be able to keep their heads, and this is happening.
It's very true, actually. Like, the slower Mysterious Monkeys has been the best Mysterious Monkeys we've seen, where we just want to fight all the time and be super aggressive. It's just led to them get outplayed in skirmishes, make wrong calls, and then fall really far behind.
Maybe they just want to play slow, but they panic when they get fallen behind.
Or maybe they think they have to play aggressive to consistently win games, despite the fact that the slow style is actually working better for them. Yeah. As you highlighted, even against Unicorns Love in Game 2. So sometimes you don't know if you've struck gold, even though it's right in front of you.
Maybe the Monkeys, this is the game plan for them going forward. However, there were a few trades. Mysterious Monkeys got themselves a tower down bot, but it was traded for a Rift Herald. And it looks like a kill as well, as Jisoo runs on into 3. Vander gets the knock up. They're bringing Cabochard in on the stand united, but Jisoo's got a pocket pistol, and he's trying to dodge it out. Cabo looking for an angle to go right in. It's going to be flashed away, but there's no tower to fall back to right now. Coscu looking to come in. Jisoo incredibly low, flashing forward. Steal back, instant exhaust. Doesn't quite have the damage until just now. Gets the final hit. And the Monkeys are a little late to respond. Coscu trying to get some return fire, but between Joko and he, they are both safe enough despite being low on those health bars. Llama Bear looking to come in around the side, but nothing doing.
No, nothing here for Mysterious Monkeys. 1 kill over to Steelback after Vitality. Setting up a little trap top lane. Jisoo felt like he kind of knew. Oh, let's see mid. Nope, Nukdog, he's out of there. But it really, like, it was like, Jisoo kind of knows, okay, they're probably up here and the team is on the way. Coscu.
Ooh, that was a tense moment there, but Nukdog did not press R.
Heal is available for Coscu, would probably have saved him.
Didn't want to get baited into that one. But
and a lot of MR as well on this Taliyah.
They still got the push advantage right now. Even with some wave clear here, they got a few more pot shots off on this tower. Nukdog and Joko aren't able to fully defend. They clear the wave away, but there'll be another one soon enough.
And they once again get the Shen ulti. Cabochard obviously used it to get that one kill. So it's like Jisoo kind of knows, okay, there's a high chance they're up here. I'm just going to see if I can check the brushes a little bit. His entire team is also kind of calling for it and on the way. So when the fight breaks out, you can see how Mysterious Monkeys, except for Llama Bear, they're all actually around topside because obviously Taliyah can use her ulti. Jisoo in the end stepped back in to get a few hits onto Cabochard, and that it's just him trying to get Skull back. Again, he needs to be aggressive, actually hit people to get it back fast enough, and that obviously in the end means Steelback gets a few hits on him, and then he can't get Skull down. And Joko, this time around, Pyra, we actually get Rift Herald.
Oh yeah. So long investment into this mid lane, and it looks like this is where it's going to fall. However, the Monkeys don't want to give it up without a fight, but they might just have to. It goes on charging in, and there's not much more you can do about that one. Nuke Duck waiting in the wings here, see if he can get a pick off onto Yuki, and it looks like he just might do it. The power's unleashed, and down goes the AD carry, summoners and all. Coscube comes and builds a wall just a smidgen too late. Vander is even there to block it out once again. And Vitality, they start to swing the gold once again in their favor, and they're in the lead.
Yeah, it looked pretty good for Mysterious Monkeys a few minutes ago, but then that play top lane into now mid lane tower with the Rift Herald suddenly means Vitality find themselves slightly ahead. It's like 50 gold.
But I wanted to talk about Jisoo because while that was a big mistake up top, not only was his team able to react fast enough, that was his first death this game. And we've been keeping an eye on this guy because in lane, he has been feeding unnecessary kills that has set the team behind. And it's why we've had some of these snowballs get out of control where players like Yuki can't do anything about it. It's improvement is the point.
Very true, very true. We're looking for the small things. Yeah. I agree. I like that.
You can't climb up a staircase in one go.
But you can try, like down on all four. You kind of try.
I mean, you're a tall guy. I don't know how you manage it, but
I can skip a few steps.
I have to go one at a time.
Yeah, I can definitely skip some steps. But skipping steps in League of Legends is a big no-no. You do not want to do that. Follow all the small steps. You know, get your minion waves pushing, get your vision down, Pyra.
Yeah.
Don't just randomly start yelling on stage, go, 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 because then you might actually find yourself overextending quite a bit.
Speaking of, Jisoo does dodge out some of the damage. However, the Scatter of the Weak still is going to nail him in the back, and Vander was there to try to go in. Instead, he's just stuck clearing away a control ward.
Whoa, guys, Baron is spawning. Have you ever seen Baron spawn before?
A few times.
Yeah, like
I don't think Mysterious Monkeys want to see Baron for a little while.
Maybe they want revenge after last time. Because if you just keep trying and trying and trying, at some point it should succeed, right?
I guess that's one way to look at it. Jisoo keeps on trying and trying to get away. Looks like he should be able to do this time around. Throws the bear trap on the rope, but Joko is walking out of it. Nice and easy. Nuke Duck flashing forward, looking for Yuki once again, and down he goes. That's 2 for a 2 on the game.
To be fair, Nuke Duck set that up really well.
But even Brock Kabusha is like, I'm going in. You guys are watching me. Now the wall's coming in, but Vander is still able to. No, this time he gets knocked back. He had the shield the wrong way around. Joko is on one side of the wall, but the rest of Vitality are going to be soon to follow. However, the wave has evaporated. Monkeys trying to position in front so they can keep the defense going. It's 20 minutes, but the game is starting to swing the way of Vitality. Want to close this one out on a 2-0 note. Nuke Duck keeping the rest of the Monkeys at bay. Inside of the jungle, it's going to allow them to pick up yet another tower in mid.
I've now seen Nuke Duck twice get a kill onto Yuki where he lands the entire combo. He's not just pressing R, he's actually landing the entire setup that allows him then to one-shot Yuki with the ulti at the end. So Nuke Duck, once again, playing a good game where he's able to kind of create picks with his team. We saw it on LeBlanc last game, we've seen it on Syndra now, gave them just another mid lane tower, and Vitality, it's been small things. Like, it's not been a massive macro move or anything. It's like, get one kill top lane, get a small advantage from that. Get a kill mid lane and then Rift Herald to get, again, a small advantage. And they just slowly been climbing back ahead in this game. And it is the same thing we talked about earlier, where it is a slower game where people are not getting challenged as much when it comes to these quick decisions.
Well, it's slow even by the standards that I think we see from the teams like Vitality. I mean, the slowest or the least kills we've seen in a game is split. It's been all action. There's 16 by both teams all put together. Vitality, right now, they were involved in that one against the Unicorns of Love, and it's only 4 total.
Yep.
This game could always turn pretty quickly. We saw what happened last time around.
Mysterious Monkeys, on average, die 21 times per game and get 9 kills on their own. That's the average Mysterious Monkeys game, so 9-21. That's a lot of kills. We only 4 kills in here.
Technically, it's a better ratio for them this time.
Definitely true. Definitely true. It's never really good to die 21 times as a team if you only get 9 kills yourself. But that being said, this game, much less kills. Both teams are actually very even in gold. They've been trying to trade turrets with each other. And I think we might get a game now where you really get to be challenged in terms of your Baron setup, which is not something we always see from these guys because they tend to just start the Baron and then there's not really a setup, or they're so far behind they can't even contest the Baron.
Yeah.
So now we actually get to see the slow build-up, the part where you don't skip steps. And if you do skip them, you might lose the Baron.
It's a very complicated dance, but you got to be able to do all the steps. in order to make it look good.
It's so boring that even pro teams sometimes say, no, screw it. I do not want to go through this step and this step and this step.
But it's important.
Sometimes it's much more fun to just rush the Baron and then say, if they show up, turn around and just kill them. It's just not very consistent.
All right, Ash Arrow goes in, the wall goes down. Even the charge, Nuke Duck, everything's being thrown at him, but he's still just able to walk away.
That's 3 ultis.
Yeah, and Steelback's just uncontested up top. He was even thinking of doing the Krugs. That's how much time he had.
Well, Nuke Duck, Pup Ghost, walked out of there.
All right.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say. Like, he literally just walked out of there.
Oh, Mysterious Monkey's trying to throw everything they could at him. It just wasn't going to be enough. And in the end, they neglected the top turret. They neglected the bottom. Vitality, they can just out-rotate at this point.
Yeah, Mysterious Monkeys tried to all-in for mid-lane kill into maybe that Baron setup we mentioned. So they sacrificed the side lanes. Like, look at this. Jisoo sacrificed bot lane. The rest of the team sacrificed top lane. They just lost 2 turrets because of it. All trying to kill Nuke Duck in mid.
Yeah, honestly, I do like the gusto that they play the games with, but there are some times when they just make these plays on the Monkey side and just go, huh?
I mean, that's kind of thing, right? When you play the style where you just want to get gold through kills, it's just never consistent. Like, think back to Unicorns of Love when they came into the LCS. It was very much the same kind of thing. It was just constantly looking for some of these engagers, roams into mid lane, crazy fights, and the way they would get advantages would be through killing people. That is just never a consistent way to do it, because if the other team can then match your fighting, or maybe in this case here, you actually miss some of your ultis and the enemy team can dodge around, you just end up losing a lot. That's just happened right here for Mysterious Monkey.
I mean, it worked for Unicorns, you know, a good 60-40 because they just were that good at fighting, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But it's just not the same for the Mysterious Monkeys. And now Jisoo's finding that one out the hard way as Vander gets the knock up onto him and Cabochard claiming the kill. Joko cleaning up the Dragon. They're getting everything.
Exactly. Getting killed, getting Drakes. And I really like that point, Pyra. I want to add that too. Like, it's not necessarily a bad playstyle. It just means that you can't always expect to beat teams above you. Like, when you try and play that style against a really good team, being it internationally or in Europe, you know, you might actually suddenly get challenged so much in terms of fighting and macro that you end up losing. So Mysterious Monkeys,
oh boy. All right, looking for it right now, turning on to Joko, and before the channel can complete on Stand United, it's Llama that is able to pick up the kill. So the Monkeys have a momentary advantage. What can they do with it as they found Vander, but Dreams is found out by Nuke Duck. Llama sending the Sonic Wave, does not want to go any further than that. You can see they are eyeballing the Baron. Will they keep pushing for the mid, though? Another wall gets built right through the tower.
Oh, where's Jisoo coming in? He just TP'd.
There's Cabochard as well. Jisoo.
Well, he's top lane. He's going for top lane tower right now.
Push things up. Maybe that's the move they need to make.
Well, they want something at least. So with killing Joker here, Mysterious Monkeys did have a chance to actually force a Baron play, but because they had so many ultis on cooldown, they felt like it was too risky. No Zyra ulti, no Ashe ulti. Instead, they get a top lane tower, try and really even out the gold here, and the game is still so even. Both teams can definitely get that one pick that leads to a Baron, and then can win the game from there. Yeah, 2,000 is the only gold separating those two, and just 2 towers that Vitality had a 3 lead until this point. Like, why is Joko even there? Like, he just randomly walks through the jungle without anyone near him from his own team. 2 guys from his team were still in mid lane. The other guy was obviously on the other side as a Shen ulti. I don't know, that was just a very unnecessary play that actually now gave a lot of gold over to Mysterious Monkeys and time. But I tell you, they were doing everything correct.
Well, I mean, we saw last game, they were making a lot of mistakes on the Vitality side as well, and it wasn't until the Monkeys made a much bigger one that it started to turn in the favor of that team. And now, game not 100% evened out, but a little closer to it. Monkeys can play with a little bit more confidence. However, Vitality keeping the vision cleared around the Baron pit. They want to make sure that there's no chance the Monkeys can get in and make a play.
And really, before that, the only thing Joko would look to do was just go in and place a ward. Like, he did literally rush straight in, put 1 ward down. That was the only thing he would actually gain from it. And then Mysterious Monkeys obviously caught him because Joko didn't really know where on the map they would be. So that cost Vitality a bit. They're still ahead, though. I think Joko learned his lesson.
Yuki did as well. He has had himself QSS for a little while, so might be able to negate some of those combos. Nuke Duck only pulled off the pick twice onto him.
Oh, Jisoo without TP right now. Like, Vitality should be able to control mid and top lane, which then means they control the jungle, which then also means they control Baron. Just because Jisoo is sitting without a teleport, this should be a golden moment for Vitality to show some of the stuff they've been working on in scrims in terms of Baron's setup and how to execute it properly. Cabochard is even winning the trades here.
Yeah, he's just going right under tower, knocks away the Scarl, and he's even got the taunt off under inhibitor tower. Cabochard does not care. And he picks up the Kled. Jisoo down for the count for 40 more seconds. And now let's see what the Monkeys can do, trying to cut off Nuke Duck. KazQ puts up a wall, but it's down almost immediately. Joined by Cabochard, they've still got a half-health turret here, but Yuki, the rest of the team, they're all mobilized. Yeah, now you see Vitality thinking about it.
I mean, they should just straight up go for it because Jisoo is dead without TP, and they just saw two guys bottom lane. You can just start it. You have Shen TP and ulti. All right, there we go.
Teleport coming in now. Looks like Vitality will have the jump on this one, but here, Llama Bear
they waited so long that Talia is actually now she's in mid, she's close to Baron.
There's 5 seconds on Jisoo here now. They've gone over the wall. Cabochard looking to pick off Dreams. KazQ's coming on in. He does not have his ultimate up and available, but Llama Bear will have his smite. Cabochard getting one kill now, but it's gone really messy. It's a double taunt as Nuke Duck picks up KazQ, and the Baron was a long con. All of them but Yuki will fall.
All right, they wanted all the Mysterious Monkeys members to get all the way over there near the Baron and then just jump them instantly. It took some time, but they're on it now. Jisoo, he popped his ulti.
Here comes Kled right now. Vander going low, and Jisoo goes bowling on in, but he cannot fight against all 5. Plus the Baron. Steelback says thank you very much. And it's back to just Yuki here trying to clear it through, but there's no way to contest a big purple worm. Vitality get it on everyone.
Worst feeling ever. Kled jumps into a fight. There's a Shen with W down, and your auto attacks do nothing. Your W is useless. All right, so this is after Mysterious Monkeys. They make their way over. Let's see what actually happens here. Dreams, I think, just dies. Oh, Cabochard just got kicked right into him. Thank you, Llama Bear.
Yeah.
That was pretty unfair. Obviously, Zyra also dies with Flash and Exhaust, and the carry next to her had heal, but, you know, apart from that, he did get kicked into Zyra. Dreams probably didn't expect it.
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't even get to see Jisoo going on in there.
Use your summoners, those next time. Definitely helps. But, man.
You just missed that, but Jisoo did 0 damage. Does that include him charging in?
Well, that's because he jumped in, and it was Shen W down. You don't hit anything with your autos when that W is up. You just stand there and you're just like, I'm not doing anything. I'm actually hitting the screen right
worse. Now. That's like worse than Sion ulting into a wall immediately in front of you.
Yes. That is definitely also
that is a face plant.
Or the classic flash straight into the wall, which is also the worst feeling ever. Because not only do you die, you also use the flash.
Yeah, but here's the gold swing again, right? I mean, it was a Vitality lead that was small but steadily growing. Now it's started to go out of control. It's 8,000 in the lead. They have the Baron. They have the tempo advantage on multiple lanes. There's an Infernal if they want it. I mean, it's Christmas if you're Vitality right now.
We have learned today, Pyre, that Baron is definitely not Mysterious Monkey's good friend. Whenever anything has happened around that Baron, it's gone horribly wrong for them. And Vitality, they've used it to get massive goal leads in this series.
They certainly have. There's been a bit of assist from the Monkey side, though. And no matter how this game goes down, they'll have a lot to think about, a lot to ponder in those VODs coming up for their next matches.
Jisoo has also learned that blind picking the Kled,
maybe not the best idea.
It's tough, especially with Shen being open. Cabochard locked that one in pretty fast. Remember, it wasn't banned this time because they banned the LeBlanc away from Nuke Duck.
KazQ! Yeah, out he goes. Nuke Duck is able to pick his 3rd kill up of the game, and Jisoo goes charging in the other direction. As Cabochard, Nuke Duck, Joko all opening up his base, looking to finish it off. It won't be as fast as the last game. They're certainly looking to make it close. Just over an hour of total game time between these two. Still the lowest kill game on par, but not for much longer if they're able to pick a few more off to end it all. One inhib will fall. They have the minions working their way on the second, and Steelback is there to follow up. And there's not much the Monkeys can do as their base is in ruins.
Well, they're trying, Pyre, but no, Jisoo.
Oh, Downey's going out, actually, but that's going to be Steelback getting an ace in the hole, intercepted by Dreams, but there's not a whole lot left to defend here as Nuke Duck just keeps on throwing the Dark Spheres out. And the Baron-empowered minions down on bottom doing work. A wave comes up through the top. Again, they don't need the mid lane, but Vitality will not be able to end just yet.
They don't want to risk it, Pyra. They just step away. Keep in mind, Mysterious Monkeys, all of them can go back and heal up. And I think this series, you know, it's kind of shown that Vitality and Mysterious Monkeys, in a lot of ways, are very even. But when it comes to Baron calling, Baron setups, Vitality have been able to get massive advantages right there. Cosq takes the full ulti, and then the E from Nukeduck goes down. But again, like, Vitality's definitely been the better team, but not by a lot. Like, it's been actually a fairly close series despite the goal score. People will see at the end.
They've needed some help to get back into some of these games. Well, as Cosq goes surfing back towards his own base. I mean, the Monkeys want to come back into this one. They have got their work cut out for them. It's a massive goal differential. Their base has one inhibitor and some real low health Nexus towers. And Vitality just got themselves a very easy peasy Infernal Drake.
Yeah, and now they have a pretty easy mid lane to go for as well, because there are so many super minions coming from the sides. And late game definitely been heavily in favor of Vitality. They've been looking much better at that point in the game. And we also got to give them credit. Once they get the Baron, they've used it very well against the Mysterious Monkeys. Like, they've not been giving any chances for the Monkeys to actually come back into this game. Not taking bad fights, you know, not going for the wrong turrets or anything. Like, they've actually been able to play it out well.
And that's an encouraging sign for this team, too, because it seems like every split that Vitality's been in the LCS, the expectations get just a little bit lower, just feel a little bit worse. But this is a confidence booster if you can close this one out. However, they've got to get through the line one more time. It's Jisoo getting taunted up. He went on to charge him, but he wishes he didn't, as Steelback finishes the job. Cabochard and Vander going to get shoved back in, but there's no damage follow-up available from the Monkeys. And Dreams, half his health is gone in one headshot. I did not know guns were an effective way to guard.
Well, let's see here, Pyra. If you're Cosq here, what do you do? Like, you can't really do anything. You can never get in the fight.
Yeah, and Joko, well, he can bring more than just one to the fight as Cabochard goes on a taunt to finish off the Zyra. They don't even need the inhibitor or the tower. Mama Bear flashing away Yuki as well, and he's not even gonna get back to Fountain. That's gonna be all she wrote. It's just gonna be cleanup duty to finish off these towers. And after a rough start to the split, Vitality are revitalized. You gotta start somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's true. You gotta get your first win somewhere. They got it now. Important. Funny enough, it's the same kind of thing as last split for Vitality, where they don't really pick up a lot of wins, and then they face the one team under them in their group. And they managed to beat them. They secure that number 4 spot. Obviously, they're aiming for the Splice spot, 3rd place. It's what they're going for. It is still early on in the split. They can definitely get it. Like, quick progression can happen very easily, and then suddenly Vitality might actually find themselves looking at a playoff spot, and that obviously is the big goal, because they've been ending as, you know, that 4th place team.
They've got the possibility, but there is a lot of work to do next, and you know, it doesn't get a whole lot easier for this Vitality team. You've got to go up against H2K on Saturday. You've got to take out a team that is probably a little upset that they couldn't finish off the Unicorns, and they're going to be coming hungry.
Yeah, true. But I mean, that's the thing again. If you are Vitality, like, you can only look at yourself and say, what do we need to improve on? What do we need to work on? It doesn't matter what everyone else is doing. It doesn't matter how H2K plays, how Monkeys plays. Like, you need to focus on yourself. You need to realize, okay, what are some of the things we're not doing well? How do we improve it? What are some of the things we're doing well? How do we make sure that keeps happening? I'm looking at Nukeduck as an example in the mid lane. Like, he had some good games last week, good series right here as well. So you know right now that you can trust in your mid laner to perform. Now you just got to make sure he's actually set up to succeed. Steelback as well managed to pick up a lot of kills in this series.
Absolutely. I mean, this was big for them from an individual performance standpoint, because they did exactly what they needed to do. Up until this series, it seemed like it was all on Joko, trying to set them up. And when he faltered in this series, they were there to step up, to make the plays.
Yep.
And that's an encouraging sign. When you have more than one avenue of attack and you can use it, it's hard to prepare for that.
And now if you are Vitality, you're also looking at some of the teams in the other group that you're going to play very soon, like Rocket, like NIP, as opponents that you might be able to take down. But if you're Mysterious Monkeys, it's tough. Now, it's your first split in the LCS for a lot of these guys. Unlimited, his first split as an LCS coach as well. Your organization doesn't really have a lot of experience at the highest level. So it's really hard, but I think also at the same time, they kind of expect it to be a team where it wouldn't be easy and it would take a lot of time. But at the same time, you want to really start winning some games.
Yeah, the growth needs to happen somewhere, and we'll see if they're going to be able to pick it up as the split goes on. But over back to Vitality, we got to talk about our player of the series, and honestly, who else could it be but Nuke Duck? This guy came up huge, and he kind of proved his name true. Remember, it came from Nuke, I'm going to blow somebody up, and we saw a lot of that.
What's the duck part?
I don't know. He quacks.
Okay, there you go. You see him on your screen, looking very focused. Definitely a big highlight play of him.
Yeah.
Looking at his screen, and there you see him.
He didn't die, man.
Oh, he's talking, yeah. Big plays, as you can see right there.
Yeah, I mean, it's sometimes it's risky to take like a LeBlanc, right? Less so on the Syndra, but he kind of was able to show up, not just holding his own up against CosQ in most of the 1v1 situations, but being there at the right time to start blowing up priority targets. And like we talked about Yuki being the X factor, the strength for the Mysterious Monkey squad, Nuke Duck was priority on him constantly.
Yeah, and I like that Twitch ban against Yuki. It actually meant that Yuki couldn't really be that guy in the late game fight.
They did their homework.
Maybe try and carry them.
They did their homework, and Vitality cruised their way to a 2-0 victory. Now, having secured their first win of the split, we'll see what their jungler thinks after that series.
Thank you very much, guys. Yes, I am joined here by Joko. First and foremost, congratulations on your first win of the summer split. It looked a little crazy and chaotic at times. Talk me through how you guys won the series.
Well, we come to the series like comfortable, obviously, and we, like you say, struggle in a bit in first games and a bit in second game. We play good. I'm a bit sad of my performance, but I feel like I got carried by my teammates, and I'm very happy for this win, yeah, obviously. I'm
very sad by your performance as well, because you didn't get First Blood again. First Blood King, actually, in 2017.
Yeah, that's true. Like, I was a bit sad.
How do you always find a way to get those kills?
I don't know, like, you can got some XP runes, you know, and, like, it's help a bit. Like, you can just level 3 gank mid or, like, go for an invade. And, yeah, I don't know, like, I feel I can get the First Blood, but sometimes, like, I don't, like, really do something with it. You know, like, especially with, like, these Splice games. I was 2-0, and after, like, I end up with 2-6. So, yeah, I got the First Blood, but I really need to do something with it.
I'm actually glad you bring that up. Why is it that Vitality can't do something with it? We've seen a lot of games this split with Vander support, now with Yamato on stage, where you guys have an early advantage, but it falls apart very quickly in the mid game. What's going wrong?
Well, like Yamato says, like we got too many cooks in the kitchen. You know, like everyone like want to be the shot caller, and we have to know each other. You know, we have to use it to know it. Yeah, and we how to say like we got like really strong in the early games, most likely every time, but we like skip steps, and we are like just like confusing about like what we should do, and we are a bit too much excited, and like that's why like it's our problem right now, and we're like trying to fix these mistakes.
At least a win today should help with some of the confidence side. You guys are playing H2K in a few days' time. It's going to be difficult. Earlier today, Stress did a stats segment at the beginning of the show where he broke down how Vitality's members are under-damaging in comparison to champions around the world, how Steelback is not really being the carry, either not being with the team or dying early. I know you watched a little bit of that segment. Why is it that Vitality's damage is not finding the enemies in a lot of your team fights?
Well, I think like you said, like in early game we got good advantage, but after like it fall up in mid game and late game, so we can't really like do damage since like we are in losing position. So you can just like try to do this defensive play, but obviously like if you are losing, you can't really have the best damage. And yeah, I think it's come from this. Like if you just lose, you can't have best damage.
Well, just lose. Of course, early game is your favorite. Let's see if you can keep it up later in the split. I have one last question for you, Joko. Is this version of Vitality going to break this downward curse that seems to be following the Vitality organization?
Yeah, obviously we look forward because like we are kind of stuck in like 7th place for 2 or 3 splits or even 4th. So we are like happy because like right now I believe in this team like maybe more than the last split, and we are like all European, so there is no like fight between like Korean and like other European, and yeah, it's good. And Yamato is really like a strong figure, and like he's really help us for everything. So I think we can like be like just break the curse.
Well, we'll see. It's still very early on the split, and hopefully you guys can continue to grow. Congratulations again on the win.
Thank you very much. Thank you too.
Guys, we're going to head over to an ad break. When we come back, Roccat get a shot at Fnatic.
team was able to come up with that victory, a fast turnaround. But can the Monkeys pull a turnaround of their own? We'll find out if they're able to do it here. All right, that wall gets stopped just short, but they will get the tower, and they're on top of Vander, looking for first blood, and they are gonna get it. Nice and easy. Nuke Duck flashing forward, looking for Yuki once again, and down he goes. That's 2 for 2 on the game. Yeah, he's just going right on the tower, knocks away the Scarl, and he's even got the taunt off. Under inhibitor tower, Cabo Shard does not care. Llama Bear will have his smite. Cabo Shard getting 1 kill now, but it's gotten really messy. It's a double taunt as Nuke Duck picks up Coscu. That's gonna be all she wrote. It's just gonna be cleanup duty to finish off these towers. And after a rough start to the split, Vitality are revitalized.